Got a little follow-up video on the Harbor Freight blast cabinet. When I first got it, I didn't have any problem with the siphon tube that came with it, and I don't know if it was because it got humid out or what, but I couldn't get this thing to not plug up. Like, I'd go for 15 seconds and be plugged up again, and there really isn't a lot of space between the two tubes, and I think it's, especially with a little bit larger grit stuff, it was plugging up to the point of almost not being usable at a point. So what I did was, see if you can see it here, I built a little contraption here out of some old black pipe and a electrical conduit elbow I had, and this is a valve here you can adjust the suction with this. It's like kind of a Venturi valve, sort of, and depending on how heavy the stuff is, you can adjust the flow of it right here. The flow of it'll affect the flow of the grit, and so far it seems to be working pretty good. Another thing that I've had an issue is, as I was getting ready to do this video, my cheap Walmart light crapped out that I had, and so I recommend not getting that because it didn't really get a lot of use before it crapped out. I'm going to get a floodlight and put an electrical box in there, and then that should pretty much eliminate any issues with that. As you can see, I had to put my work light in here just to try it, but it's real easy to do. I just had to cut a hole in the drain plate there, and there's a few dollars worth of parts. I had most of it already, so it wasn't that big a deal to do it. Right here I just drilled a hole. I didn't use a nylon reinforced tube, so there really isn't any issue. If it cuts, I'll just put another piece in there. So I just thought that might be a helpful follow-up. Another thing I plan on doing is getting a sheet of glass and putting in there, and coming up with some quick way to take those screws out so you can take it apart, clean it, replace it, whatever. Because this plastic stuff, basically what happens is you can't get it on there without getting a small opening somewhere, and the dust basically goes between the glass and the plastic, so it makes it where you can't wipe it off. You're pretty much screwed at that point. So another thing to consider if you're buying one of these and you haven't assembled it yet is just get a thin sheet of glass to go on the inside and use that as your protective layer, and just replace it when you need to. Well, that's about it for this, so hope that helps somebody out. Thanks.